Welcome back, and we're going to continue now moving forward learning all about real estate syndication and also preparing for the deal-making symposium that's coming up and real estate syndication seminar. That's going to be a great program that's going to help drive all the material down deep so that you understand thoroughly and completely all the issues that we've been working on in this program, in the material that we've written, so that you can go out and start to stake your claim as a real estate syndicator, putting together projects on your own with investors, properties, and start to create the money that you want and deserve for your life. In this program, we're going to talk about how to protect against liabilities. Real estate syndication is a terrific medium for protecting against liabilities. In fact, one of the primary reasons that investors get involved in these projects is because it helps them to be completely insulated from liability. They're never insulated from their investment liability, but they're insulated from additional liability if you do it right, if you use a good attorney, and I promise you that your investors are going to care a lot about how you structure your paperwork because protecting them against liability is very, very important. The first question that we're going to deal with in the material that you're welcome to review when this program is over comes from one of our studio audience members, and they ask, is there liability with syndications? Well, there's two answers to this. First, from the perspective of the investors, they're always responsible or liable in the event that something goes wrong to the extent of their investment. That means even if you've repaid them some of the money that they've invested, they still might be liable for the money that they originally invested. So be careful about that. That's a real issue. The second half of the question deals with the syndicator. Syndicators have liability. Somebody has to be responsible. The buck's got to stop somewhere. That's the way our system works. And it stops with the syndicator. But syndicators protect themselves in a wide variety of ways, including the medium or the mechanism that they use to hold their title interest. So for example, most of the time, syndicators will hold their interest in some form of a corporation or LLC or some kind of document or structure that protects them. They also protect themselves with insurance, and you can use insurance in a variety of different ways to protect yourself. Very important that you do this. Critical that you do it correctly. The next question is, do investors care about what you buy with the money that they put into the syndication? Well, I guarantee you they care a lot. Investors typically invest in things that they understand. In my experience, real estate investors invest in real estate, scientists invest in their projects, entrepreneurs invest in their projects. So you have to think very carefully. This applies two ways. One, when you're raising money, you want to make sure that you're getting money from people that are interested in the projects that you're working on. And secondarily, when you put the money into the syndication, you have to make sure that the money is being used for the purpose that you've described. Now, a lot of people want to create a blind pool or some kind of a pool where they have complete discretion. Number one, it's extremely difficult to pull this off because investors care a lot. Investors, in fact, in real estate, like to drive by and see the property. They want to be able to take their friends by and say, that's a property that I own, especially if it's a giant building. Even if they only own a fraction of it, they care a lot about that, and they want to be able to say it's theirs. If you do create a pool, you have to describe what the pool is going to buy. The pool can't buy an apartment building one day and a hotel the next. Typically, it'll have a very defined parameter, such as distressed real estate in a certain geography, or foreclosure homes, or multifamily residential projects, or something of the like. People do care exactly what they put in because they're not going to put the money into something unless they're interested in it to begin with. Keep that in mind. That's going to help you to raise money, and it's going to help you to be an excellent steward of the money that you take in from your investors. And finally, in this little clip, what flexibility do you get from an LLC? Well, that's more of a question that an attorney will answer, but typically speaking, LLCs offer the greatest flexibility, much more so than corporations. The old corporations where people used to hold their interests typically now are reserved for different purposes. The corporations are excellent for certain kinds of profit sharing between limited numbers of partners, but when you have a larger deal, like in real estate, when you have multiple partners, you're going to find out that you have great flexibility in writing your operating agreement when it's an LLC. They're a little more expensive to set up on the front end because the operating agreement has to be structured, but the syndicator in particular has great flexibility in how he or she puts the deal together. Keep that in mind. This is a great way for you to move forward. I hope that this material is helpful to you. I hope the material that you read in section number 9 is helpful to you. And I look forward to seeing you at our recently upcoming Deal Making Symposium and Real Estate Syndication Seminar. I'm Joel Block and look forward to see you there.